Thank you, friends, for joining me as we prepare for the new year with this soul accounting. This second week, we have the opportunity to focus on love of neighbor, or I like to think about it, how we build connected and meaningful relationships. And the attribute that comes to mind for me is Chesed, is this idea of loving kindness that comes from the commandment in Leviticus, love your neighbor as yourself. And loving kindness is one of those things that we want to exude, and we often do so by being generous or by being helpful. I recently was with a friend of mine and her young daughter, and as I was watching her daughter, she was struggling with math. And as I saw her struggle, she looked up at me and she said, "I can't do this." And so I looked at the problem that she was wrestling with, and I think proud that I still knew my grade school math, I gave her a big hint. And she looked at me and frowned and said, "I don't want you to give me the answer. I just want you to be my cheerleader." And I thought, wow, such important wisdom, and particularly about how we want to be generous or helpful. So much of our investment of being helpful is the feeling of being helpful or being perceived that way. When Jewish tradition really teaches us that we must be patient, thoughtful, and to listen well to what the needs of others are before enacting our generosity or our helpful natures. The Baal Shem Tov, the mystical master of Jewish tradition, teaches that when we ourselves have a need, we end up seeing that need in others all the time. And that really is an obstacle for us to overcome, because in truth, it may just be us and not the other person. So that is a perfect place for us to begin our reflection. So get your notebook and pen, and I want you to think about, what needs do you have in this moment? And are there ways that you project that need onto others? So take some time to think about that, write and reflect. And then what I'd like for you to do is to think about the ways that you have been generous over this past year. Have you been able to sit with people and truly understand what their need is? Or are there other forces at play? It always feels good to be helpful or generous, but are we meeting the needs of others? Take some time with this, because the more effective we are in being helpful, the better we are in achieving our soul's true nature. I hope you find this a helpful soul accounting.